Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Patel. Good morning, Krish. Good morning, Varun. Good morning, Tosu. Sir, mapping. कौन सा वाला pattern? Whatever doubts you guys are having, please do ask. We'll start the streaming in 2 minutes. Good morning, Nathan. भाई कब 0.5 लेना है कब 0.61 है स्क्वायर रूट फॉर्मूला एट द करंट मोमेंट यूज नहीं होगा once the financial year ends then only we'll be able to use it only for quarter 1. Last session fall in today's session. Definitely. 2 मिनट दे दो बता दूंगा. Okay, Krish. Is it taking rejection from LG point? As of now, yes. Good morning, Agastya. Good morning, Smita. Good morning, Arundhati. Let's start the streaming. Right. So, what are the major things that you have to look for in allocating the trades in perspective of today's sessions? Starting from 1 hour. First analysis, what we'll be looking for is a volume which will be indicating the directions for us, right? In perspective of analysis, what is the market indicated in the structure? If we had noticed, the market was in a consolidation range the entire Asian session and London session first half. Post that, market created a stabilized movement action plan which was built at a range of the drop point, right? So with that drop point, market created a sustainable drop with creating a high volume indication of a reversal point, right? So with this reversal point of action, what is the current market stability that market is currently indicating us? Okay, a drop and continue. In today's session, market had created a high volume spectrum in this red candle of 1 hour, right? So with this 1 hour, will the market take a reversal or will the market create a retracement, right? So always remember whenever there is a stabilized movement with a high gap range, जैसे कि आज के दिन में अगर notice कर रहे हो, the market is in the high gap range. The first plan of action will be to allocate the liquidities. Liquidities कहाँ कहाँ पे मिलेगी? At the current range, the entire gap has a liquidity range, right? The LG point is the major dilutional point where you will be looking for with a liquidity grab point. For that, what does the market has to do? Market has to create a substantial dilution in this range, right? Where the market had created a gap up with the gap up allocation, market sustained in the moment for first 3 hours, right? When the market has sustained in the first 3 hours and he had got a high volume indication, means market is going to retrace, not reverse. Right? In this formation, let the market create a sustainable plan of action towards the short. With that, we look for a short plan of action to execute the dilution point. Right? The first dilution is at 4610, second dilution is at 4580. So this will be the plan of actions which market should follow at the current state. With this current state, let's look what is market indicating in 15 minutes. At 15 minutes range of action plan, market created a sustainable plan of action towards a long. With that long, market sustained with a rejection at an intact zone. Where was that intact zone of action? At this point of range where the market tend to take the rejection from, right? So with this rejection, what is market trying to evolve? Market is indicating a structure to follow through the liquidity allocations. मतलब जब भी एक movement develop होना है, let it be towards a short or let it be towards a long, market को पहला liquidity चाहिए होगा, right? That liquidity is the fuel for a conversion in the moment. At this current range, अगर market यहाँ से ही fall होता है, will it be sustainable? No, it won't be sustainable. यहाँ पे क्या करेगा? Market will trap out people. So, what is the best plan of action? With this intact point, let the market create a moment action plan towards the long and take the dilution from the first range of intact, then the second range of movement with M1 200%. अगर intact से भी rejection लेता है, then also we'll be having a nice sustainable movement for 300 to 400 pips. Without that, the movement won't be able to suffice. Right? अगर यहाँ से ही market गिरता है, तो immediately within 2-3 candles, market will reverse up. Right? अगर sustainable movement with slow and fast results of proven direction आना है, तब मार्केट को हमेशा एक चीज याद रखना, लिक्विडिटी चाहिए, बहुत जरूरी होगी. राइट? सो एट दिस पॉइंट एलजी से रिजेक्शन ले रहा है, इंटैक्ट करके डेवलपमेंट फॉर्म कर रहा है. विद दिस, लेट द मार्केट क्रिएट अ स्टेबिलिटी. विद द स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ द मूवमेंट, let the market take a reversal. Right? Let everyone think that the market is creating a movement towards a long, and let them enter at 4671, 4669. वहां से हम reallocation of the structures with completion of intact में short देखेंगे. तब तक के लिए plan of action long ही रहेगा, short के लिए मत देखना. ठीक है? This is today's plan of actions what you will be looking for in Asian session. Right? Coming to Patel's point of action, how will you look for a mapping at this current state? Okay. The first action plan comes into the play of first come first serve, correct? So in the first come first serve, we have this allocation, which will be taken in mapping of the rejection point, right? So what do we notice over here? There is a break and continue, 200% done. So second serving will be taken into the play, not the first. यार वर्षा, ये क्या है यार बीच बीच में? रिन्यू कर दो ना वो थोड़ा. Okay. So with this plan of action, what is the next step that we'll be looking for? We'll be allocating a second serving, correct? So with the second serving of the mapping, 200% break and continue. So we'll look for first come first serve completion and second serving allocation. In second serving allocation, what is the movement you will take? This maps the same with this, but not this. So this will act as our second serving over here, right? Post second serving allocation, we will look for a remap structure. When a remap structure gets into the play, the allocation will be always on the break of 100% to 100%, right? So with this, what do we see? Rejection from 150. Once the rejection is played the role at 150, then we'll look for second alignment points, right? So with this plan of action, 150 rejection, with 150 rejection, what are the major things that needs to be taken under the consideration at this stage? First come, first serve supply. So this is the first come, first serve supply what we are having at this stage point action. So which will be at the consideration of demand 150. Break and continue. With break and continue, 200% rejection, right? With this, what are the next plan of actions which will be taken under the consideration? We know that the market has taken a rejection from the point of action which is being created at 200, but यहाँ पे हमको direct allocation नहीं है, right? So in this allocation point, the intact game will get played, right? तो intact game of action plan यहाँ से ही trade off action punch out हुआ था. With that action plan, how do you look for first come first serve movement? The first come first serve movement is taken under the consideration of this, right? So 100% break and continue, 200% break and continue होने के बाद second serving पे आता है the entire movement, right? So when you play across the game, first plan of actions will be taken under the consideration of the top point, break and continue. With break and continue, market has created a stabilized movement, double it, right? So in this point of action, what do we notice? When the live candle was in the movement was in the fast serving, right? जब भी market एक fast serving में build out दिखाता है, what is the first action? 1 hour. क्या 1 hour में हमारे पास कोई पोजीशन अलोकेशन था यहाँ पे जो कि मैप कर सके? This mapping is taken, this mapping is taken, this mapping was pending. So we had taken over here as a second serving of 15 minutes. Then the major mapping comes into the play of this, right? जब ये mapping को हम allot करेंगे, this will give a major role of playback which will be allotted in the game, right? So with the break and continue, the allocation point will be always in circumstantial lookout of a second serving, which was imperilized in the moment to roll out, right? With the rollout action plan, what are the next steps of action which will be taken under the consideration? The supply movement plan, right? The first action will be always taken under the consideration from the top line. So in the top line, what are the major rules that needs to be followed? The plan of action will be taken under the consideration of first come first serve, जो कि A वाला movement है, break and continue है, come to 1 hour. In 1 hour, if we close and hide, what are the major rules that we'll be looking at 1 hour positions? The first allocation point will be this one as a supply, right? So when that supply gets into the play, what are the major action plan? High wick range hai, to high wick range always from the wick, right? So when the wick comes into the play, break and continue in 15 minutes if we map, the allocation will be at a rejection point of 150, right? Break and continue. What do you notice? 1 hour rejection, sorry, 150% rejection and 1 hour intact rejection. How 1 hour intact rejection? If we close the movement action plan, the development exactly took a closure from a rejection of intact, 1H intact, group में जो share किया था, correct? So with this intact, market created a retracemental plan of action. With the retracemental plan of action, what is the allocation that you will be looking? You will be looking an allocation of first come first serve demand, or you will look for a conversion. The point of interest is always look in an allocation of a conversion point. मतलब यहाँ पे supply converted into demand form out होगा, right? In this scenario, where is the retracement point of action which will be developed in the first stage? The movement action plan of this, which will act as the retracement, which will be formed as the movement. 15 minutes. Right? So high wick range hai, no high wick range, hence the marking will be taken under the consideration of body, 100% rejection, continuity in the movement, first come first serve के हिसाब से. This is the supply what you will be mapping out in the scenario towards the long, which will be taken under the consideration with the high range of motion. Break and continue, minimality M1 formed. M1 form होता है तो first target is 150, second target is 200. Okay, so this is the plan of action which you get mapped under, right? With the rejection plan, what is the first come first serve mapping that you will be doing? अगर सब हटा दे तो mapping of demand will be taken under the consideration of point 1, which is this, which will be acting as the main region of rejection. Point 1, high wick range है, so from the top we'll be taking the mapping. With the mapping 1, rejection at 200%. Right? So first rejection 200% को आने के बाद, what is the next level of mapping that we'll be looking at? The allocation spectrum that market indicated was at a rejection point of 150. So 150 से ये allocation को भी देखना है. So the first point of intact will be always taken under the consideration of the first come first serve. So this is your first come first serve mapping, which will show you an indication of rejection in the supply. With the supply movement action plan, break and continue. With the break and continue, 150% rejection. With 150% rejection, market has carry forward the strength towards the short with S2B1. With S2B1 formation, what is the first come first serve? This is the first come first serve what you will be taking under the mapping, right? With this mapping, the allocation will be played with the high wick because body is smaller than the wick, and allocate the structure, right? 100% rejection, intact execution of first trade was taken under the play with 170 pips, and market has taken the rejection from supply 100%. Right? So into the play, how do you map the current structure of this 100% supply? Is always taken by first come first serve, which will be allotted in the moment. This will be played with the bottom of the wick and 100% rejection point, right? No doubt market is creating a S2P1 setup and giving a drop, but yet not interested in this movement, because if the market has to fall, it has a right amount of fuel to continue the fall. अगर ये fall यहाँ पे आता भी है तो immediate reversal plan of action भी दिखाएगा. Okay, Patel. Hope your doubt is cleared. Good morning, Aviral. My bad. How did I miss it? Even that, that's still there. Yes, always target big. Smaller action plans will create you a dilution of small profits. Sorry, illusion of small profits. But when you hold the trades, you will see the gains and the confidence of your experience in a longer time frames, right? So just then आप लोग पूरा hold करना सीख गए ना till the targets, you will see the benefits of that. Range of motion में लो with the directions, with the analysis till the targets. ओके, टारगेट्स के पास हिट होने के बाद अगर मूवमेंट कंटिन्यू करता है, डोंट क्रिएट गेट फोमोड, नो ग्रीड, राइट? दैट्स हाउ यू कैन सस्टेन. गुड मॉर्निंग अंबिका. Any doubts, please do ask. 2 more minutes for the 1 hour candle closure. A new candle will come into the play in 1 hour. So if a market creates a sustainable movement with the setup from this point of action itself, can we look for an allocation? अगर यहाँ से ही आपको अर्जेंटफुली ट्रेड ऑफ एक्शन प्लान देखना है, then look at 4662 से देखना शॉर्ट के लिए. 150 pips ID trade only. New 1 hour candle. सर मैपिंग कर रहा हूँ। ये थोड़ा बहुत छोटा हो गया ना। गुड मॉर्निंग राज। हाँ, थिकनेस कम हो गया। I get that. We'll change it. सर S2B1 इंटैक का सेटअप बना है तो लॉन्ग का ट्रेड देखेंगे ना, शॉर्ट का क्यों देखना है? S2B1 इंटैक्ट, ये ट्रेड ऑफ एक्शन प्लान का मूवमेंट खत्म हो चुका है आईडी में। अगर ये नोटिस कर रहे हो ना, इंटैक्ट यहाँ पे खत्म होके the movement action plan is created a movement of 150 pips, right? So in this plan of action, short के लिए क्यों देखना है, वो कहाँ से देखना है, क्या immediately नहीं देखना, right? So dilution होने के बाद देखना है short के तरफ की trade. So 4462 जो है ना execution, वो आपके लिए नहीं है, beginners के लिए follow the rules. Rewind करके देख लो ना राज. First plan of execution is towards the long. Let the dilution get into the play. Then only the next plan of action will be taken under the consideration towards the short. Rewind करके देखो. Because without the fuel, market won't move. So we need a proper fuel. That fuel is at M1 200% or else the intact point 74. अगर sustainable holding चाहिए, stream will be there for next 15 minutes. जो भी doubts है, please do ask. Nope, not interested. अगस्त्य क्रिएट होने दो, वेट करो यार. Let it form. The reason of 4662 का short for a bit of advanced level people are why it is. समझाता हूँ क्यों. Right? If we have three partners, what is it called as? Partner 1, partner 2, partner 3. What do we call it as? Right? When POI comes into the play, what is the action plan that we work on? The break directions, opposite direction will be the trade-off allocation in scenario 1. So what is market currently doing in this scenario? If the market showcases an rejection, we will look for that plan out. That's the reason 4662 will be taken under the consideration as a bit of a risky trade, but a ID trade in an intraday which is taken under the consideration of 150 pips. Henceforth, 4662 plan of action is also on at this current stage, but with a proper rejection, not without the rejection. Clear? Good morning, Arya. So last 4 hours mapping only Thursday, please. Friday. Kandit Hall. Sir, in long from 4658.77. Reason of execution, Arya. You took it now or you took it when you got the analysis in the group? Excuse me. Look at now 150% demand completion intact at 150 level supply pending. Great. Good analysis. So how will you stabilize the movement at the current stage when it's running at 40 pips in an Asian session? CTC after 1:1 reached, then MTSL. No doubt your entry is good, but say me one thing in this position of allocation where the market hasn't created a setup towards a long, right? What is the risk to reward percentage which will get built at? For an example, with S2B1 setup, Asian session, we follow a rule of 30 pips, correct? So with an intact, we follow a rule of 30 pips, right? So at this persona, the execution is taken at a direct entry at 150% demand. No doubt there will be a rejection taken under the consideration, analysis followed, right? But till the first moment of a candle closure, you will be in a panic state, right? So when you are in a panic state, always remember you will tend to take a wrong decisions if one candle gets into a opposite direction, right? Henceforth, always remember let the setup form going forward. Okay. So that's the one and only simple rule what you have to follow from next time. अगर मार्केट रिजेक्शन दिया है तो दैट्स टोटली फाइन, राइट? एक कैंडल कंफर्मेशन का वेट कर लो. So that the panic and the FOMO will get rid of your mind once you start following the setups. What is the TSL that you're, sorry, SL that you're following in Asian session? Great job. Everyone for today follow the consent rule of executing the trades with the setup only till the time the market doesn't create a direction. Make sure be in stability, right? Follow the rule of three trade. First trade closed in green, execute the second. Second trade closed in green, execute the third. Third trade also closed in green, execute the fourth, not an issue. If first trade is in green, second trade in the red, then you'll have only one opportunity to execute. Scenario, if first trade is in the red, second trade is in the green, even then the execution opportunity is of three trades only. If you're having a continuous three green trades, then you can continue with the fourth one, else close the day with three trades. Clear? Sir, could you please explain how to enter an intraday trade with minimality? Very simple, right? So if an action plan is derived in the moment of a minimality, in this case of scenario, the market has created a sustainable plan of growth, right? So with this plan of action, what is the first step that you will be looking for? A rejection, right? You got a rejection in a supply of 100%. You know the minimality is formed. What is the first step that you will be doing? Okay, rejection taken, followed through first come, first serve. Let one confirmation candle get into the play of minimality, right? On the next rejection candle with S2B1 setup, you can look for a target of 150 and 200. Clear, Nathan? ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ 100%. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ರಿಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ 50% ಇಂದ 50% ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಮ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ವ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ S2B1 ಸೆಟಪ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಟಿಲ್ 150% ತನಕ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೇಮ್ ಸಿನಾರಿಯೋ, 100% ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಿರತ್ತೆ. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರಿಟ್ರೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರತ್ತೆ 50% ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ, ಇಲ್ಲ 50% ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಅಂಡ್ 80% ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ S2B1 ಸೆಟಪ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ 150% ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್, 200% ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್, MTSL ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಓಕೆ. Good morning, Faisal. सर आप मजाक क्यों नहीं करते हो? मजाक करते हैं पैसे कमाने के बाद. पैसे कमाने के टाइम पे we treat it as a business, man. Come on. We can't make fun out of it while you're earning money. That's the first simple rule. Respect what you're doing. Sir, where was your S2B1 intact? So यहाँ पे IG में ना ये जो movement है ना यहाँ पे, this rejection is all from the intact only. Right? And ग्रुप में शेयर करता हूँ. यहाँ पे ओपनिंग क्या है? 46 ना. IG में ओपनिंग 26 में है यहाँ पे. Post session, I'll inform team to share that screenshot. Henceforth, we had an intact here. Yes, we are still in that trade. सिर्फ आईडी वालों का क्लोज हुआ है. Hope you understood what I was trying to say, everyone, while doing the analysis. Without the fuel, don't look for a random executions. सर अभी शेयर कर दो ना. अभी शेयर करना. ओके. सिस्टम हैंग हो गया है, रुक जाओ. ओके. अभिषेक या वर्षा, कोई तो भी सब में ट्रेड्स बन जाए. ओके. फोन से कोई लॉगिन करके वो ग्रुप में एक बार डाल दो ना ओपनिंग. हम्म. भाई तू हाइड की बात कर ही मत. हाइड करने गया, पूरा एनालिसिस हाइड हो गया. ग्रुप में शेयर किया है, देख लेना. Our opening movement was at 4615 somewhere. The difference is of 300 pips. सिर्फ ओपनिंग में. Rest all market is working same. Very good afternoon, Peter. How are you? जमीन आसमान का फर्क. So all the new members, whichever strategy, whichever rules, whichever formations you guys are following, doesn't matter to me. Make sure you follow it for 6 months of back testing, 6 months of forward testing, 1 month of live analysis. Come with a smaller capital, develop the capital following a proper risk to reward. While following the proper risk to reward, make sure to maintain no FOMO, no greed, no fear moments. You can build it with the experience. Don't give your account to manhandle, nor give your account to follow the trades with tips. It's a hard earned money. One good trade is a trade taken by you, your learning, your analysis, your mindset. Wins will give you happiness, losses will give you learnings. This is Nitesh signing off. मिलते हैं अगली सेशन में. तब तक के लिए टेक केयर. बाय बाय.